Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another Premier Division review show. We'll start off with Shelbourne and Dundalk at Tolka Park. Hooban scoring his 100th Premier Division goal and Sean Boyd equalising with a penalty on 85 minutes. Cian, I'll start off with you. It looked like a game, straight to highlights anyway. There weren't too many chances. I think J.R. Wilson could have scored, to be fair, for Shelbourne from play. Hooban's header was a typical Hooban header from a free kick, actually. I've seen that goal. Probably out of the 100 goals he scored, 50 of them were that. But Boyd obviously scored a penalty on 85. Shepherd just seemed to come out into no man's land and take him out of it, to be honest with you. Who's happier with the point here? I guess it has to be Shelbourne with the late equaliser, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, it didn't look like a great game. No, it was a dull game, and I think that was a game over the weekend, to be honest with you. But it was Dundalk are going ahead and again. You're going 1-0 up. Look, JR had a great chance, but the cross came in, and he caught it too nice, I think, and it went way over. Look, it looked a poor game. I only seen highlights, 7 minutes or whatever it was, and it didn't look like a great game. Shells didn't really create many chances in the game, and I was looking at the stats and stuff like that. I think Shells will obviously be happier with the point and to get the monkey off the back with no. You know, you had to score. I know it was a penalty. You'll take them anyway. It was a penalty, to be honest with you. I thought he ran through him like for. That's from looking at it. That's what I thought.
But he's saying his line there, Cian. Like Boyd isn't definitely getting in, is he? Not 100% definitely getting in.
No, not 100% getting in, but as well at the same time. Just he's rush of blood to the head kind of thing, and I think they'll be very disappointed with that. They've been pegged back now, and the same they've been pegged back against Derby as well, and they were pegged back now against Shells, and I think it was a draw. Were you ahead in that as well, were you?
They were behind actually in that game. Yeah, they were 2-1 down anyway. Yeah.
Came behind twice against both.
Came behind twice, yeah. So. They're leaking goals at the minute, I think. Now, look, that one was a penalty. You can't really do anything about that. But in general, this season, they're leaking goals. I think they'd be happier with the defensive performance without Shells being too good. They do look a bit light. They do look a bit weak. So I'd say come the second half of the season. Well, even now, when games are Friday, Monday, you're going to see it. You're going to see probably them struggle a little bit more than you'd expect because it's tough Friday, Monday. They're a similar squad of the Pat size last year, really, I think, in terms of they probably have about 17 players that are first team quality and first team players, and the rest are probably made up of young lads. You know what I mean? So now I could be wrong on that number, but from the outside looking in, it looks are about 17 players that can probably start for them, and then it's probably made up with a couple of youngsters and the rest. So it's going to be a long season for them that way. I think Stevie, it's a risky one. He done it last year and it paid off for Pats. There's no question about it. And I just think it might be a bit risky towards the back end of the season. I'd be a little worried Shells going forward. I thought Arnold Driscoll made a fantastic tackle in the game at the back, actually. Just thinking of it now. Was it a header? No. Keith Ward got through. And he made a great interception. But I think they'll be all right defensively. I think they'll be, 6, 7, where they are now. I can't really see them going much higher. I can't see them being in any trouble either, to be honest.
Yeah, do you see Shelbourne possibly in trouble, JP, or do you think they'll be all right? I mean, Cian said it there, to be fair. They do look fairly solid defensively, apart from the first game of the season, but since they look solid defensively. But it's difficult to see where the goals are going to come from. It's not even the goals, it's more the creativity, actually. They're not creating the chances, you know what I mean? And any of the games I've seen them play this season, including their win and Drogheda, they didn't really create anything. Is that a concern for Damien Duff going forward?
I think so. I think one thing Shelbourne have shown over the course of the first 5 matches or so is that they're going to make it difficult for teams they beat them. But when you make it difficult for the likes of Derry and Dundalk, you've got to then reverse that and go against the likes of UCD and beat them. Now, I know they went into UCD off the back of a Friday game, but I think for Shelbourne, who have ambitions of not being around the bottom two places, they have to pick up points in them kind of games. And it's the creative. If they had the creativity in their team, they would have gone to UCD and picked up points. They beat Drogheda 2-0, but as you touched on, they didn't really create a lot. The one was the breakaway goal after Drogheda were pushing for the equaliser in that game. I don't see where their goals are. If you get the creativity, Sean Boyd will score goals, I believe. And the other guys they have up there, they created a good chance in the first half against Dundalk, but J.R. Wilson skied over the bar. It was probably difficult because it was coming at him. But what Duff will be happy is that they're making it difficult for teams to beat, but he'll be looking to take that next step now and sort of advance it a wee bit and try and get the goals, because that was, if they didn't score that penalty, it would have been 3 games at home, 3 losses, no goals. With their only win being away to Drogheda. But look, they've taken points off Drogheda. They beat Drogheda, who they'll be wanting to finish above this year. They've taken a point away at UCD. He'll be happy with the start because of the 3 games that they've had at home. Probably be happy, but at the same time, he's probably looking for a wee bit more from his team as well.
Yeah, finished Drogheda United nil, Sligo Rovers 3 at Head the Game Park. This game was over at half time, well over at half time. 3 goals, Banks 7 minutes, Hamilton 20. That goal from Fitzgerald in 34 minutes. Not just the goal, it was the move actually impressed me more nearly. Just all one touch. It was 3 or 4 one-touch passes. The finish just completely finished it off. Well, fantastic football from Sligo, typically in Buckley style football there. Drogheda to be very disappointed. As I said, the game was over at half time essentially. They did have a chance though, early in the second half in the penalty spot. You never know in those situations. You scored a penalty, you just never know. But, that just summed up their night, I suppose. The first goal in particular, they'll be very disappointed with. Banks gets a header and the goalkeeper again comes out and fails to deal with it. Very disappointing. And then they didn't really react at the back post of Banks of all people there to nod it in. But Sligo, to be fair to them, Keno, I mean, people question them. I think everyone, even their own fans, question them because they left things late in the window. They brought in players we didn't really know, weren't aware of, apart from maybe Keena, really, who actually didn't play. Bulger didn't play in this game either. But they've been fantastic so far, and arguably they've been the best team in the course of the 4 matches so far this season.
Yeah, look, they've been really good. Look, they'll take that win all day long. There's not many games in this league that you're gonna win 2 or 3-0 in. And there's not, especially away from home. You're not gonna win 2 or 3-0 away from home many weeks. So it's a massive result for Sligo. I think they've started unbelievably well in the season. I think they're really, really impressed me. The football, I genuinely think Gary Buckley is everything that epitomises Sligo at the minute. He's just so comfortable on the ball, from playing centre mid to being now a fantastic centre half. And he can head it, he can kick it, he can clear it, but he's probably one of the best footballers in the league on his day. He can play football. I like him a lot. When I seen him sign for Sligo, I was delighted for Sligo that they got a player like that. I was surprised to see him play centre half. Didn't think he'd walk out, and now, I've seen him playing centre half, and I thought Sligo were in bigger trouble than anyone because they were obviously stuck for the centre half. That's what I was thinking. But similar to what John Mountney done with Pats last year, in terms of he was a right winger, and when he wasn't really a winger, but he was an attacking player, and he filled in at right back, and he didn't fill in. He was signed as a right back, and in fairness, it showed you how he can literally give him a new lease of life. And I think he was fantastic for Pats in the first half of the season till he got injured. And he will come back. And I think that's another thing. Speaking of Dundalk, when he comes back into that Dundalk team, I think he really stabilise it, because he was excellent for Pats. And that's similar to the Gary Buckley thing, I think, in terms of he was playing centre mid, and probably Greg Bolger and him. They played in the Cork teams. They done really well, and you know, it kind of wasn't working out in midfield for him at Sligo, and you know, he's gone to centre half, made a fantastic partnership with Martin, who's obviously gone now, but he's building new ones there. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with Sligo. I didn't think they could do it, to be honest with you. I didn't think they could have a start like this. But, you know, it's early days. Sligo had a start like this last year. Come June or July, they found themselves top of the table, and then they didn't win for 12 or 13 games. So, you know, it's the league can go like that. So they'd be just happy to get their points on the board as quickly as possible. At the minute, for me, they're the team to beat. They set the bar for me. Drogheda to be disappointed again, you know, and especially in the manner of the goal, the first goal, and then obviously missing a penalty. You know, it wasn't that night. But I wouldn't be hitting any panic buttons. I think they've enough quality in that team. They've enough quality in the club, and look, they were never going to replicate last season or anything like it. But you know, they're still, I think, crazy that they're going to be in about 12, 14 games time. We're going to have a couple of leagues in this division. We're going to have, you know, I think you're going to have Shells and Drogheda, and then you're going to have two teams down the bottom. But I can't see Shells and Drogheda being that team. And I think them two will be mid-table, you know, maybe 7 points off Europe or 4 points off, you know, relegation rounds or anything. But I can't see that gap being anywhere, you know, too major where they'll hit panic buttons. There will be times throughout the season where they'll probably get beaten, and, you know, people will be looking over their shoulder. But, you know, I can't see, I'm not worried about Drogheda, to be honest with you. I'm not. I don't think they'll be. I don't think they'll be hitting any panic buttons yet. Look, it doesn't get easier for them. They're obviously Dublin Derby, and you know, there's no easy games, and that's the way it is. But you know, any team at home, I think they'll be fancying their chances, and so.
Yeah, JP. I mean, you can see the 10 goals in their first 4 games. Drogheda, obviously, they're a team that look like they can score goals. Maybe unlike Shelbourne and Harps, they've more goals in their team. I think, you know what I mean. They create more chances as well. But they'll need to tighten up at the back, won't they, soon, I think?
Yeah, they will. I think that's the one positive that Kevin Doherty can take from the opening few matches, is that they're creating chances, and they've scored a fair amount of goals themselves as well. But the worrying thing is by creating them chances, are they leaving themselves exposed at the back? Because even though they beat UCD last week, they still conceded 2 goals against them. Look, you can concede goals against anybody, but it's in the manner in which they're conceding the goals. The keeper last week had a shocker. He came, didn't get near it. He was lobbed. Same this week. He came, didn't get near it. Guy has a tap in. Look, I'm not totally blaming the goalkeeper, but it's just
different goalkeeper in the 2 weeks, I'll say, JP, though. I think it's McCabe last week and Long played this week. So, yeah.
So it's, I don't know whether, I didn't know that, but it's just something they need to get an organisation right in there. Because as you say, they do have the creativity and the firepower to be better than the likes of Harps and UCD at the minute. Probably creating more chances than what Shelbourne are. But at the end of the day, if you don't keep it out at the back, it's going to make it harder for the strikers to win you games. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to. If you keep a clean sheet, you have a better chance of winning games. And I think Cian's right. In 10 games time, there's going to be 2 or 3 leagues within the 10 teams. And Drogheda, for me, will be the team that will be sort of languishing above the relegation spots, but in between 6th place. I think they'll be along with Shelbourne. I think over the course of the season, Drogheda will be. I think they'll create enough chances and score enough goals to keep themselves away from any playoffs or relegations.
Yeah, I think JP as well. Liam Buckley, he couldn't have asked for any better with a game on Monday. Do you know what I mean? To be 3-0 up at half time And they probably did ease a bit in the second half. Obviously, made a few subs. Didn't need a great bulger. Keane came on with 20 minutes to go. Almost in a perfect situation for the Monday game now, aren't they, as well?
Oh, absolutely. Because if they didn't have that Monday game, you're probably expecting them to keep their foot on the gas in the second half and go maybe score 4 or 5. But it was an absolute situation for him. And as you touched on there, he left out Keena and Bulger. He'll probably bring them in tomorrow night or Monday night, against Harps. Perfect situation. It's a fantastic start for Sligo. For me, it's hard to argue that they've been the better team so far because they're the team that has been the most fluid, I think. I know Derry are unbeaten, Dundalk are unbeaten, but they haven't played consistently well over 90 minutes.
Also, the fact they've conceded 1 goal, JP, in the 4 games as well. So they just, at this minute in time, the balance is right there. Keano is right. So later on, I think the key with Sligo is whenever they hit that, because they will hit a slump at some point, that they get out of it fairly quickly when they hit it, because they tend to hit it and really dive into it, don't they? Yeah.
I don't think they're going to, for example, have the season they had last year in terms of still finishing third after the season that they've had, because they had a fairly poor back airs to the season, and in fairness to them, they did. They went, I don't know, 12 games in around that. I can't think off the top of my head, but it was a massive amount of games.
Something like 2 wins and 14 or something. Yeah, something like
that. And then they beat Pats in the showgrounds, and then they went on a slump after that again. So they were very stop-start now. And I think Pats were the same last year. I think when Pats knew they got into the cup final, they fell over the line in the league. And, I don't think teams are going to get away with that this year. So I think Sligo, it's important for them to get as many points as they can now.
Like, it finished in Harps 0, St. Patrick's Day 2 at Fifth Park. Scott after 65 minutes. Doyle after 78 minutes. Obviously good for Pass to get the 3 points here, Keno. You were at the match, so I'll let you explain it more. But it's great to see actually Owen Doyle get off the mark, because I think he needed a goal, didn't he, fairly quickly?
Yeah, look, it was scrappy first half. Really anybody's game. And I said, if Finn Harp scored, they were going to win the game in the first half. Finn Harp scored, but I can't see Pat scored in 2. And that's the way it was. And I thought, it was scrappy. Joey and I made a great save, in fairness to him, in the first half. I don't know if you've seen it. I think it was with
Was that from Mihailovic, wasn't it?
Was it yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He made a really good save, and I think he shut a lot of people up now after the last couple of weeks. I think he's been probably a standout player in terms. Now that's not reflecting on the team and saying that.
Do you think the signing of Odomusu in a weird way might have given him a bit of a bump? Let's say.
No, to be honest, I don't. No, he had played 1 game in a bleeding storm. You know what I mean? And the ball was coming in. It was moving. The ball moves anyway. I don't know if you're seeing the new League of Ireland ball, but when you actually hit it, the thing moves, and I'm telling you now, it moves. So if you could only imagine that ball moving and then wind as well, and then look, the penalties. He's not going to know any players in the first game of the season. He's not going to know what. I know PJ might be trying to give him pointers and stuff like that, but it's tough for him. It was his first game. I think he's been fantastic for us since, and I don't know. He probably had 1 game at the start where people were probably questioning him, and probably rightly so. But now I think he's putting his hand there for one of the top goalkeepers at this minute in time in the league. I think McGinty is up there, and at this minute in time, I think McGinty and Joey and Ryan are probably the 2 in the league at this minute in time. That you look at Brian Maher off 30 and stuff like that as well. That he's probably gone up to the radar a little bit, but they're probably the 3 keepers that they're probably the 3 keepers that people have been looking at this year, because the other ones for me at this minute in time aren't really doing it. But
speaking of keepers, actually, I think McGinley might be a bit disappointed with 1 or 2 of the goals. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think the Owen Doyle goal looks a lot worse because of the goalkeeper. It was actually a fantastic header. And
it was a great header, but it looks like it takes about 10 years to go in.
Yeah, I think, I'm not being funny, I think if the keeper actually dived for it, I would have made it look an awful lot better than it actually was. But look, second half, we started off very slow again. There's no getting away. That was slow. And after 60 minutes, really, after about 57, 60 minutes or whatever it was, I looked around at the clock. I swear to God, there was a yoke in the corner, a big scoreboard. And I was saying to myself, we really need to turn around this time. If we want, these are the games you need to be winning if you want to be up there. There's no getting away.
I think, Cian, to be honest with you as well, like this is nothing against Finn Harps or anything, but if you beat Shamrock Rovers the week before, let's say, put in a performance like that, you have to go and win this game, don't you?
Yeah, look, and in fairness, after 60 minutes, we really turned around and we turned it up a notch. And, we really took the game to Harps, and a lovely move starting from Bermo, really. And, it was brilliant move. I think the shot probably caught the keeper off guard, if I'm honest with you. He was probably expecting him to blast it at him, but it was probably one of the weakest shots. And I think that caught the keeper out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then the ball just trickled along the line. I think Jack Scott definitely made sure it went over the line. I don't know.
Did he rob the goal?
Definitely. I don't know. Look, to be honest,
I'm not letting that roll into the net if I'm a player. I'm booting that into the net, man. So
I don't give a shit who scores. I don't think Bermo was either. But
just a little bit.
Going 1-0 up was great. Then it was backs to the wall for a while. I don't know when we scored the second goal. Probably 80 odd minutes, I'd say, 82 minutes or so, I'd say, if I'm guessing.
78 actually, 78. Yeah, a bit shorter than
It felt like longer. We were playing, and it was backs to the wall a little bit after we scored. They had a couple of good chances that narrowly missed, and the keeper made a couple of saves, and they had a penalty shout. Now, I didn't see that back, to be honest. I didn't watch the game back. They had a penalty shout down the far end. Now, penalty shout, I don't know whether it was or not. That, all the fans are going to roar for it, but I don't think there was much on the pitch. But, when that happens, they had a free kick as well, that straight into the wall. And, it's your pressure. We were under a lot of pressure. Then we broke, and we had a great chance where Tundi was going through. We had a 2v1 situation, and we just missed it. And they ran up, and we were trying to catch them then on the counter. And in fairness, I think Forrester in the last 20-25 minutes just ripped the piss again. He was nutmegging people for fun. He was laughing at Barry McNamee. He was just, I swear to God, it was absolutely, honestly, anybody that, if you're not playing, if your team is away and you're not travelling, get down to Richmond and watch this fella. I mean, he's worth the entrance fee alone. When he's happy, I swear to God, he was ripping the piss. I don't know on the highlights, if you actually seen it, he took the ball, I'd say about 25 yards out and tried to chip McGinley. I don't know if you seen it. Was that on the highlight show?
No.
I don't know about them highlights. I don't know with them. Half the stuff isn't even on it.
Yeah, I noticed that when I see a game, by the way. I know it's highlights, but they miss good chunks of chances, chances sometimes. They don't even show the highlights.
Ball,
yeah.
About 25 yards out, he took the ball at the edge. He had his back to the ball, or had his back to goal. Turned, just chipped it like he done against Shelbourne, and just chipped it. And McGinley made a good save now, but it was close. And you just look at it, he's just laughing his head off in the game. And I swear to God, he's a joy to watch, especially when he's in that humour. But getting the second goal, like I said, Owen Doyle, brilliant to get him off the mark. I think he's been a fantastic signing for us without the goal. To be honest, he's been really good. I'm disappointed, like I said, the keeper didn't die for it, because it was a pinpoint cross and a pinpoint header. And I think the keeper made it look worse than it actually was. It looked a lot scrappier.
Yeah. It's because McGinley kind of stumbles along the line.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, it just looks strange.
Stages.
Yeah. Exactly. He
So-
didn't dive at all. It was strange from his point of view. From Harps' point of view, though, it's disappointing because one goal in the 4 games, so far as well. I know they had a couple of chances, as Keno mentioned there. You've Mihailovic and you've Maddie up front. It's not quite clicking for them. They're not playing too bad in their games. They're generally quite solid at the back. What do you make of them so far, though?
It's in total contrast to last year, isn't it? Where they were creating the chances and they were scoring them, and you always feared that if you went behind against them, they were going to be difficult to beat. They were, and I think the one thing they have to do is remain positive because they are creating the chances. They hit the post in the first half. The keepers had to make a save. Mihailovic goes through the start of the second half and he puts it straight at the keeper. I think he's trying to put it underneath him, and as a team like Van Harps, who are at the bottom, they're going to be up against it. You need to take chances, put the likes of some Pats and that up against the ropes and see what they've got. And I think, as Pat's point of view, they've answered questions because they won the first game quite comfortably. They lost their next 2. They've now come out and won 2 in a row. And as Cian and you touched upon, you beat Shamrock Rovers, you have to go and beat Van Harps. And no disrespect to Hart, but a team like Pats, look, they challenge, get into Europe. If you take points off Rovers, you have to then go and beat the team you have up next. But the 2 goals that they conceded are so unlike Van Harps. They're usually pretty solid, pretty compact, hard to play through, hard to play against. And the first goal, Pats just walk through them basically. And I think if you watch the highlights reel, the shot from Birmingham takes a wee nick, and that wrong foot's McGinley. And I think he got a touch on it. They put it on the post, but again, you're looking for your defender to follow it in, and they're all standing still. And the guy Scott just that's what you've got to do as an attacker, and don't let the ball roll over the line. Go and put the ball in the net. Get yourself 1-0 up. Then that brings Emmons out and it creates space for the likes of Chris Forrester to dominate games. And Van Harps, they've won goal in 4 games. It's not good, but we all know what football's like, and that can change like that. And within an instant, they could have 10 goals in the season, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about, will Van Harps be down near the bottom? But I think Ollie Horgan will not panic. He's been around the league too long.
I don't think they're going to panic against. They're not going to be picking up points against Pats. They're not expecting to. They're not expecting.
Ollie won't panic anyway, because in Ollie's head they should be down there anyway. So he's not going to panic.
That's what he tells us all anyway.
So,
but it's and the likes of players of Dave Webster, Ethan Boyle, Barry McNamee, them players who have been through
Connolly.
it with Van Harps, got themselves out of Connolly as well, who've got themselves out of trouble on numerous occasions. They'll not panic either. It's the other guys who have come in from abroad, even that don't know what it's about. They don't know what it's about. Digging deep when it gets to the nitty gritty of the season. It's them guys that I would worry for. Will they have enough hunger in them? I know Ollie, the way he works, he'll make sure they.
I'll tell you what though, if they don't have the hunger, they'll be quickly on the bench. I can assure you.
Exactly.
I find that mad. I do.
He'll have no hesitation. Qualms or hesitation. They put them on the bench.
I wouldn't be worried if I was Harps. They defended well in the game. I thought they were excellent in the game. In fairness, I thought Boyle and Webster were fantastic, as defenders. And I was actually really impressed with them. Pat got through twice and took our chances, really. And that's all it was. And I think the quality shone through. But apart from that, they were solid. I thought they were okay.
Apart from the highlights reel, I haven't seen much of Van Harps, but from what I'm hearing from Alexei Osh and other people is they're creating chances, they're just not scoring the goals. And I think if you continue to create the chances, the goals will come.
So guys, obviously Shamrock Rovers beat Bohemians 1-0 at Tallaght Stadium in the big Dublin Derby. And I was just saying there before we came on air that it was a very scrappy game overall, to be honest. And sometimes when Rovers and Bows have a scrappy game. There's a moment of magic or drama or something, but there wasn't any of that in the game, really. Like, Rovers in the first half were by far the better side, to be honest with you. They played Bows off the park, I think, with some of their passing. Bows didn't get close to them. They kind of stood off them, watching them and letting them play. When Gaffney got the goal, a bit scrappy in the end. It was inevitable, it was kind of coming. Gaffney was excellent this match, by the way. He gave Kieran Kelly particularly a hard time in this game. He was really, really good. And Rovers went in 1-0 up at half time. Probably deserved nearly a second in many ways, but there was a penalty shout first half, though. Bows weren't in it at all, but there was a penalty shout. Lovely ball over the top by Devoy, actually, to set Twardick in. From my angle, it looked like he might have been pulled down, but I found it difficult to say it was definitely a penalty. Like, JP, you kind of saw that, didn't you? Because you were watching on telly and you might have had a better view of it. You thought it was pretty much a 50-50 type job.
I think Rob Hennessy was close enough to it. They see that it was pretty much both players battling to try and get in front of one another, and I think there's a perfect replay from behind the goal, and I'm not sure who the defender was. I can't remember who it was trying to get back, but
I think it was Lee Grace.
It was one of them ones where he's got there and he's got his body between Twardick and the ball, and then they're both battling one another. Then they get to the ball, and Twardick saw the opportunity because he eventually got in front of Grace, and he saw the opportunity to go down and ask a question of the referee. But I
JP,
think,
could he have stayed on his feet though?
I think he could have. I think if he'd stayed on his feet, he was probably going to get the chance to score. But I didn't think it was a penalty even before I saw the replay. I thought it was just two players battling for the ball, 6 of one, half a dozen the other. One of them went down, looked for the penalty. The referee waved it away. But I didn't get, watching this game, I didn't get the feeling that it was a Dublin Derby, if you know what I mean. I was expecting this. I was expecting maybe a tackle to go in or something, a bit of spark.
Especially Bowles, JP. I thought in the first half, Bowles, they didn't put any tackles in. They really stood off Rovers, let Rovers play. They made it easy for Rovers because Rovers were trying to react to a defeat of Pats and a recent defeat in many ways of Derry. And to be fair, they played some nice football in the middle of the park. They liked your Watson, Byrne, etc., etc. But in the second half, I think Bowes did show more grit and a bit more fight. The only problem was, from a Bowes point of view, they couldn't really create anything. And the game actually fizzled out. I expected maybe, something to happen. Bowes would get an equaliser, or Rovers would get a second goal. But it just fizzled out, actually, in the last 10 minutes, didn't it?
It did. Throughout the game, I thought Bowes stood off Shamrock Rovers. I think it was a perfect example for the goal because Shamrock Rovers played the triangles and on the edge of the box, and they get in and defender cuts it out at the near post. It's quite unfortunate that it just happened to land at Rory Gaffney, and Gaffney does what any good striker does. He hits the target and the goalkeeper should save it. And shortly after that, the goalkeeper nearly handed him another chance where he dropped the ball and he managed, I think it was a defender there, managed to clear it, even though Talbot was scrambling, trying to get it back. And I was disappointed with Bowes because normally when you watch the Dublin Derby, Bowes get in Shamrock Rovers' faces and make it difficult for them. And I think they done anything but last night do that. And even early on, in the first 10 minutes, Gaffney had a chance and he's tried to chip it with his right foot, and maybe if he chips it with his left foot, he scores as well. So I don't think we can argue that Shamrock Rovers deserved it. And Bowes, they huffed in the second half, but I think they were missing promise. And again, that comes back to the decision of the referee in Ballybuffet last week. They sent him off for what was somebody going for a header and two players banging into one another. And that game was another game, I don't know. But they just lacked something up top. You can have the Stephen Mullins and the Chris Twardick all you want, but if you don't have anything up front for them as they target, they're not going to create chances for you.
Yeah, I think, Cian, you mentioned you like promise it. Why? But I think the way Bowles play at the moment, there's no presence when they don't have him up front. He's got that bit of strength, you know what I mean? Like, they were getting crosses into the box, Malin, Twardick, but the likes of Cassidy or maybe Malin coming in from a Twardick cross, They're not really going to win headers against the likes of Lopez and Grace, etc., etc. I think they lack that presence, Bowes, and they almost played as if they had Georgie Kelly up front without Georgie Kelly. You know what I mean? That's the way they tried to play the game. But for Rovers, like obviously, like it's a massive win for them as well. But an interesting thing I wanted to pick up on, I don't know if you've noticed in the game so far, but Devoy is playing basically as a deep line playmaker. So he's trying to pick the ball up off the centre backs and get Bowes moving. I get that. But I think he can affect the game higher up the pitch. And when he first came into the Bowes team, he was very effective in that role. Is that something you'd look at there if you're a Bowes?
Me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I think, look, even thinking back now on the Finn Harps game, I was saying Barry McNamee playing right wing, and I couldn't believe it. I was delighted with myself. And
Yeah,
you know,
he's played that in the last few games. Yeah, true. Yeah.
I have to say, I was playing delighted with myself because he's one of the best number 10s in the league. I still think that he is.
Oh, he is, yeah.
To see him playing right wing is great. And I think Rovers will be getting the same thing again, saying, Jesus, this Dawson fella, if he gets anywhere in and around the 18-yard box, he's electric.
Yeah.
And he is. And he picks up that ball in the middle third, drives into the final third, picks out a fantastic pass, and gets balls taken.
It's just very, I think, Cian, I'm watching the match there as well, watching the boy, and it's not that's the role he's playing, but picking it up off the centre back so deep, he just can't affect the game that way. Surely there's somebody they can get maybe to play that role to an extent. It's a simple-ish role when he's so good creatively going forward in the final third, and he can play nice final balls and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I would say he won't stay there for the whole season, to be honest with you. But for now, I think, you see, they're looking at Flores, who's playing obviously in the middle there now as well. And, you know, he's probably well, obviously Ali is there now, and Ali has moved in from the wing. You know, Ali is a really good player in and around the box. We know Flores can hit them in and around the box as well. Dawson can hit them in and around the box. So there's three of them there that are really good. It's
quite an attacking midfield when you think about it. There's not much defensive nous in there, is there?
Yeah, someone has to do that work. And I think Dawson is the one that'll do that work more than any other player. And I think he can trust them, which is, I think, a compliment in itself for that. But look, a great advert for the league. Sellout crowds, really decent atmosphere. I don't know about all these mind games and playing games with, you know, winding people up, because, like I seen, you look at the match program and Andy Lyons was on the cover, and now it's stuff like that. Now look, I get that.
I just got to put it out there as well. Now this could have been a complete typo, but they had manager Keith Ward as well.
Yeah. But like, you know, you look at. Not only that, like you look at that, and then you look at the interview they done with Andy Lyons in the program, and you know you're saying to yourself, if a Bowes fan is reading that, and Andy Lyons is running down the wing, you're going to be fuming. And you know, you're putting them out, and you're putting them out there to be hit. You know, you're putting them out there to be targeted. Like in fairness,
it adds to the tension, and that's unwanted tension. Exactly.
Like you don't need that. Andy doesn't need that on his shoulders either. Now look, he's probably the type of lad that'll strive off that, and he'll buzz off the abuse really. But you know, I don't know. I'm just look. Rovers won the game. I hear the question what they own, but you know what I mean. I'm saying like I just think you're putting your players out there. You know, you're putting your players out there to be targeted, and you know it's not nice. Like we've seen. We've seen it now with Mandrew, we've seen it, you know, with stuff like that, and yeah, it's funny and it's great and it's this and that, but at the same time, like you're putting your players out there, and it's like Andy of all players is playing literally right wing back or left wing back in the game.
Yeah,
he's playing on the line, and he's taking every throw in, he's taking everything, and you know I don't know. It's just something that doesn't sit right with me. All through the week and all, it was like 3 days to go, and there's a picture of Andy Lyons and holding the badge or whatever he was doing. I don't know. Like, yeah, we get that he left Bowes and stuff like that, but I personally don't like that, because you know he's not a.
It's antagonising. It's completely antagonising.
He's not 25 million signing for Rovers. He's not your money mate signing like you would in the Premier League. Like, you know, he's not like the thing that strikes me that reminded me of when Carlos Tevez signed by City, and they had the sign welcome to Manchester. Like, you know what I mean?
Luis Figo when he went for Barca to Madrid. That's one there.
Yeah, but like, I don't see. Like, it's not that big of a deal in this league, and I don't like that side of it, to be honest with you.
It's made out to be, of course, but it's not.
They've done it a few times, even in Pats, where Fatty left Pats and went to Rovers. He was on the programme for the Pats game, and you know, it's stuff like that. No, there's no need for it, really, to be honest, because he's going to get dogs abuse either way. You know what I mean? That's the way it is. But look, the game, like I said, getting back to the game, it was very few chances, few and far between. In them games, there's always a winner. Someone always nicks it. I think Gaffney is, for me, one of the best strikers in the league. I think he's excellent, and I can
his work rate is phenomenal, isn't it?
He just hunts everything down, and I like him. I think he's a handful, and you know, he had a couple of chances for Pats last week that he'd be disappointed with. So, and he didn't get a look last week, you know, in terms of the ball just hitting the top of the net and stuff like that last week. And then I think he got a bit of luck this week with the goal. And, you know, that's the way it happens. The swings and roundabouts. And look, you can't really question anyone for the goal, really. It was more of a ricochet than anything else. And it fell to Gaffney and he stuck it away. But there wasn't much really else in the game, even from the highlights. Like I said, I didn't see it because it was only last night. And, like, to be honest, it's a game I probably wouldn't look back on, which is a shame because there's 7,500 people at it. And look, these games are built up to be, you know, 4-all games or 4-3 games and sending offs and all that. I think people are building this Rovers and Bows. It's a rivalry, it's a derby, but there's still points up for grabs. It's not a cup final, you know what I mean? And it's going to be cagey. You don't want to lose.
Like it was actually vital for Rovers to get the 3 points, wasn't it?
Yeah. And, you know, they were under massive pressure. But it was a free hit for Bows. You know, they were coming into it. You know, they obviously lost to Derry. They obviously lost to Pats. And questions are being asked. And you hear things rumbling in the background about players being on the bench and all. So, you know, it's things people are starting to talk about Rovers in a negative way, which we probably haven't seen probably for about 3-4 years, you know. And I think they really answered a few critics, but you know, they have to go and back it up now in Oriel on Monday, which is, you know, that's another tough game. And look, I said, when you're playing for Shamrock Rovers, the jersey weighs a ton. It's more than any other jersey in the league. You know, like it's not like playing for Pats. It's not like playing for Derry. It's not like playing for any teams like that. Rovers is the pinnacle, and you're playing for them, and everyone's out to beat you. Even when you're shooting, you're mid-table, they're still out to beat you. Everyone wants to be Rovers, and you know it's tough. It's tough for the players, and it's tough for Rovers to be in that situation. They've mastered it and they've handled it unbelievably well. I don't think questions should be asked them yet. To be honest with you, they got beaten by Pats 1-0 by a set piece, and you know.
I think what it is, Keno, people are looking for any element or any crumb to suggest that they might be coming down. Exactly. Yeah. Even though they don't believe it, they're looking for that. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Really,
look, like when you break it down, the 2 losses, there was a mistake from Lopez. Now McGonigal had a lot to do, but it was a mistake, and they went in and punished it. And then Pats was a set piece. It tuned out for 2 seconds probably in the game. You know, centre half, Rowan and Finn, however, lost them. 2 seconds in the game, just zoned out, and all of a sudden they 1-0 down. That's all it takes. And like, it wasn't like they were outplayed by Derry or they were outplayed by Pats. You know, it was the total opposite. So I think people need to just need to relax a little bit, because I think that's still the best. But like I said, everyone's out to beat them, so it's tough. It's going to be like you know, you've just got beaten by Pats. Now you're playing Bows, and now you're playing up in Oriel. And you know, it's ridiculous. It's a tough one. But look, that's when you're Rovers and when you want to be up there at the top. These are the games you have to come out on top in. And we've seen it many times already. They came out on top in this one without being overly great. Won the game. That's all that mattered. The crowd was fantastic. You know, if they can get, like, in all the, you know, if you can get, even, like, I was thinking back at the Drogheda UCD game, and I was saying if they could get even 60% of them back. You know, it'd be great. And, you know, I think if Rovers can get 5,000-6,000 each game, which I think is a fair number, I think that'd be good. You know, obviously for the big games against your Bows, and, you know, you're going to have big numbers, you're probably going to get sellouts. But other than that, if they can keep that record into about 5,000 or 6,000, I think they'll be doing really well. But look, I've no issues with Rovers. I still think they're going to be up there towards the end of the season. I've no doubt about it. I still think they're the team to beat. Look, they play Pats away and Derry away, you know, and then Dundalk could be away as well. So the next round of games, they're all at home as well. So, you know, that's just the way it works. You have to play everyone 4 times. But I wouldn't be worried if I was either team, Bows or Rovers in this, to be honest with you.
No, absolutely not. Prediction time, guys. So we get on to predicting the games of Monday. So start off, Pats and UCD. JP, what score are you saying there?
3-0 St. Paul's.
Keno?
Yeah, Pats will win it. I don't know by what, but I don't think it'll be easy now. I think we'll have to work hard for our goals, but I'll be hoping to get 2 at least. But you know, it's not gonna be easy. UCD can defend. You've seen the clean sheets they've had, so it'll be up. I think it comes down to whether Pats can take the game to UCD from the start and really break them down and tire them out with the passing in the middle, and you know, make them chase the ball. And if Pats can do that, I've no doubt they'll come out with the result. I got Pats to win it.
I'll go 3-1 Pats.
We'll go. I won't say we can say it. I'll go 3-0 then. I won't say we can say it.
3-0. All right. Fair enough. Dundalk and Shamrock Rovers, JP.
This is a tough one because Dundalk they're scoring goals and they're picking up draws, and they're going to eventually turn one of them draws and they win. But I'm going to say Shamrock Rovers. I just think that they got a good win against Bows, and I think Oriole's a tough place to go, and the fans will make it difficult. Dundalk will make it difficult. And it'll be. I think Rovers will win it, but it might be by 1 goal, and not be by 2 or more.
Keno?
Yeah, tough game to call. I'm gonna say Rovers will win it. I think, you know, that they'll really shut everyone up then if they win this game. And I'm not saying they're playing to shut people up, but I don't think they will. They'll go about their own business, but I think they'll come out on top here. I think that no, it's not going to be pretty. I think it's going to be one of them Rovers performances. You know, it could be this is the game of the night for me, to be honest with you, Monday night. I'd be watching this if I wasn't at Pats.
I'm going to go 2-1 Shamrock Rovers, I think. Sligo Rovers and Finn Harps, JP.
Sligo at home in this one, or
Sligo home, yeah.
I'm gonna go. I'll say Sligo because they're at home. I think if it was in Ballybuffet, I think it would be a different kettle of fish. Sligo.
I'll tell you how to win there. Don't worry.
Sligo, they're on a good run. They've started the season well. They're hard to beat. They're not conceding goals. They're scoring plenty of goals. Finn Harps, on the other hand, they're creating chances but not scoring them. And I don't see them creating an awful lot against Sligo. They may create 1 or 2, which you'd feel if they're going to get something out, they have to score with whatever they create. I'm going to say 2-0 Sligo.
Keno?
Yeah, these are the games that you have to win, and the pressure's on Sligo here. It could be one of them Monday, Friday games, and you know, they might struggle. I don't think it'll be straightforward. I think they might nick a draw here. I do. I think. I just think the Friday, Monday might catch them a little bit. I know they had an easy-ish game, but I don't know. There's something telling me here that it might be a draw.
You're gut. I think I kind of agree with you, but I think Sligo might just do enough to nick it 1-0. I think it's going to be a tough one, but they'll be happy with that. Derry and Drogheda, JP.
This is a hard one to call because Derry have had their game obviously called off. So
it's not a good thing.
That's
if you're Drogheda, are you preferring that Derry played on Friday night?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I'm asking myself. Do did Derry go into this one preferring that they did play themselves, or would they would rather have the rest going into this?
To be honest, it would have depended on the result. But you know, if you have a chance to play UCD, I think you'll play it every day of the week, and you know that's the way
100%. It was a great doubleheader for Derry on paper, like, but we all know football's not played on paper, like. But I think Derry will come in this. They'll come in fresh. Drogheda, they will try and respond the first half that they put in against Sligo, and they'll not want to do the same again against Derry. I think over the 90 minutes, I think Derry will have too much for them, and I'm not going to say a score here, but I think Derry will win the game.
Come on, you can't do that.
JP, that was the biggest roundabout way I've ever heard someone saying that team is gonna win.
And easily too. You know what you saying?
Yeah, Derry will win this. I think I gotta go 2-0.
Same. Spot on. Derry 2-0 as well. Finally, Bohemians at Shelbourne at Daleyman Park, JP.
I'm gonna go with draw on this one. I think Shelbourne, they're going to be hard to beat. Bows didn't play well against Rovers. They will try and come out and show a response against Shelbourne, because it's aside from Rovers, Shelbourne's their other big Dublin rival. And I think there'll not be a lot of chances in this game. I'm gonna say 0-0 on this one.
Keno?
I wouldn't call Shells a big Dublin rival now.
They are to Bulls.
But look, this I said Rovers and Dundalk is a game, but I think this is close behind it. There's gonna be a good crowd there as well, and you know, I hope it's a good game, but I can't say it happening, to be honest. I can't see Shells coming with a lot of quality. I don't know, to be honest. I haven't a clue here. I'll go for Bowers, because I think with the likes of Promise coming back and stuff like that, you know, I think I might just add something to them. I don't rate him as a striker, but the way Bowers play, it's suiting them at the minute, and it's working at this minute in time. But I don't think he's a long-term option there. I'm gonna go for Bowers to win because they're at home, and I just don't think Shells will have. If Bowles go ahead, I can't see Shells getting that now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Bowles might pinch it as well, maybe 1-0 as well. Look, guys, thanks for coming on. That was brilliant stuff. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments. The games, the reviews, the previews on Monday. What scores are you giving us? And we leave it there, guys. Subscribe, hit your bell notification button, and thanks for watching. Brilliant stuff.